All right, everybody, welcome to the show. We're now live and in living color. Gonna give it a few minutes before we ramp up. Let me give my friends and family some time to jump in. We're live on Twitch, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. So if you're there, give me a little holler, say hi. Boink. All right. Ooh. Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, Jared, thank you for watching and giving me a like. Again, if you can't see somebody in the chat channel or wherever you are specifically, I've got people on Twitch, I've got people on Facebook, and I've got people on YouTube. Very excited to talk about all the cool stuff that's happened over the past week. Been a lot going on in the gaming community, and specifically with my Big Bad Nerd family. Lots of moving pieces going around in the Big Bad Nerd family. And I'm very thankful for all the help and donations that have been given over the past week, and I'm going to go over a few of those things today while we're painting a Mysterio from Marvel Crisis Protocol. Before we get the stream started, I just want to take a little time to thank my sponsors, Space Cadets Gaming, and the Aegis Creative Company. Space Cadets Gaming is located in Oak Ridge North. That's just a little north of Houston on I-45. I am located in Houston, Texas. If you're watching from Latin America, or we've had a few people watch me from Canada. I am from Houston, Texas. If I have an accent, I have no idea. But the Space Cadets Gaming is my friendly local game store, and they sponsor me with all kinds of board games, role-playing games, war games that I paint, assemble, and play here on the stream. I'm very thankful for Space Cadets Gaming. If you can't make it out locally because you are far away, they do have an online presence. So if you Google Space Cadets Gaming, just like it says right there on my sponsor banner, they will pop up. You can order things from them, and they will ship it to you. And then I'd like to thank the Aegis Creative Company, which is a very good friend of mine, a very good friend of the stream since the very beginning. They've 3D printed terrain, they've 3D printed minis, they've printed cards for Arkham Horror and Marvel Champions. That's Marvel's LCG. They've just been very, very helpful in helping me facilitate all my gaming needs that weren't able to be bought within the store, right? Because there's lots of cool gaming accessories and stuff that can be bought or can be picked up outside of gaming stores, made by private sellers, specifically on like Etsy or eBay. Those are neat little things. All right, we're in our 30-second countdown before we go full on live, the full Big Bad Nerd Dad. Happy Monday, February 13th to everybody. Here we go. Ta-da! Hello everybody and welcome to the Big Bad Nerd Dad stream. I am Mike, the Big Bad Nerd Dad. I'm very excited to be here today, Monday, February 13th, 2023. I want to talk about all the wonderful people in my life that have helped me with this stream. Space Cadets Gaming, the Aegis Creative Company. I've had a lot of people donate things to the stream to let me play different board games, play different war games, play different RPGs. I'm going to show off a few of those things today. And I had a very big donation from a good friend of mine that I've known for several years, Brother Brett. He donated quite a few different RPGs and war games that I'm very excited to get into. Those are things that I've seen on other YouTube channels, but I didn't know too much about. Hey, there goes Brother Brett right now. Very, very thankful for everything that's been donated to me so that I can move forward with the stream and try different things and bring content for games that aren't seen normally, right? Because there's a lot of mainstream RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, Savage Worlds, Pathfinder, and I want people to see those games. Like they're good, they're fantastic. There's nothing wrong with them, but I also want people to see all the cool tabletop games that aren't mainstream, right? That are hidden in the shadows. Face blue smiling, oh smiley face, blue smiley face. I get it. All right, so first, I want to show off a few things. I've talked about Frostgrave on the stream a bunch of times. It's one of my favorite tabletop war games. It's miniatures agnostic, which means that you can use any kind of miniature for it. It doesn't have to be from a specific line or company. You can use whatever you want to make the war band that you want. I have the second edition core rulebook right here for Frostgrave. Huge fan of this. Tons of terrain. You make your own wizard. You run around a frozen city collecting treasures and battling other wizards and battling game-controlled AI monsters that sort of roam the streets of Frostgrave / Felstad. And it's a very neat game that you can play solo. You can play with PvP, 1 versus 1. You can play a free-for-all format where it's 1 versus many. I think we've had up to like 6 people playing at one time. I've streamed it before during some of our charity streams, and I do plan on doing some more streaming of it because it is a fantastic game by Joseph McCullough. But he's come out with several different games that are phenomenal as well. One of the ones that Brother Brett had introduced me to, and I had seen years ago, or a while ago, it may have been years ago, is Silver Bayonet. We will be playing, reviewing, and painting miniatures for Silver Bayonet over the next few weeks after I'm done with my Marvel Crisis Protocol. And you're right, Brother Brett is on YouTube right now, and he says Frostgrave is great. We need to get another group game going. We've played a couple of group games of Frostgrave, and it's just a lot of fun. And Silver Bayonet is sort of in the same vein, where it's a tabletop war game, creating different war bands of characters. But let me give you a little synopsis. It says, as the wars of Napoleon ravaged Europe, chaos and fear reign, and the darkness that once clung to the shadows has been emboldened. Supernatural creatures, vampires, werewolves, ghouls, and worse take advantage of the havoc, striking out at isolated farms, villages, and even military units. Most people dismiss reports of these slaughters as the rantings of madmen or the lies of deserters, but a few know better. So this is really neat. Like it's not high fantasy, right? There's not dwarves and elves and magic and dragons and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure it can be loaded into here, but this is meant to be more of like Napoleonic wargaming with a little supernatural twist, and that is right up my alley. Love this kind of thing where it's not your conventional war game. The sheer fact that it's just like Frostgrave, it's miniature agnostic, so we can use whatever miniatures we want. Maybe we have a group of investigators come back from the night with the Roaring Twenties. Maybe we have a mad scientist and his group show up. Like you can use whatever miniature you can find. But like think of all the generic, really nice models that are out there that aren't from big name war games like Warhammer 40k or War Machine Infinity. Right? There's a bunch of little independent, I say independent, smaller miniatures companies. But I'm very excited to dig deep into this. I'm going to be spending the rest of the week on my lunch breaks at work going through this core book. It's not a very big book, right? It's just a nice little simple rules manual. I'm very excited to deep dive into it. Got some really nice. I don't know if you can see that in it. Pull up some of these. Like I'm really digging this Napoleonic Gothic horror war game. So I'm very excited to try this out. Again, Brother Brett, thank you very much for donating this and several other things. If you want to take a look at all the things that I'll be going over this year, I've been posting about it on my Facebook page, Big Bad Nerd Dad on Facebook. Please go over, like the page, comment. Tell me if there's a game that you want to see me play. That's exactly what Brett said. We had talked about Silver Bayonet and a few other games, and he really wanted me to try these out. So he donated a few of them. Like he went out and bought the core rulebooks and gave them to me, and now I'm gonna sit, read them, play a few games with them, and do some reviews so y'all guys know what it's like. Again, very excited. Another thing I'd like to thank my community for is supplying me with things that I need to keep the stream going. I have a full-time job. I have a 9 to 5. I have 2 little girls and a beautiful wife. I am just a big bad nerd dad. So a majority of my money goes to paying bills and doing things that need to be done for my family. So I get by with a lot of help from my friends with donations to the stream and local game stores that donate demo boxes and things like that. So I'm very thankful for that. This past Christmas, I was gifted a wet palette from Army Painter. Brother Brett gave me a wet palette yesterday, so I busted out my Army Painter wet palette and was just like, you know what, I'm gonna have to figure this out eventually. I've never used a wet palette before. I'm not gonna use it today while I'm painting. I'm sorry, Brother Brett. I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna use it on stream. I promise. I promise I'm gonna use a wet palette on stream. He also donated an airbrush for me to try out and use, and airbrushes aren't cheap, so I'm very thankful for that. So it's something I can bring, and that's something else I can bring to the table and show people how to use and the different uses for an airbrush. So I'm excited to get into that, but not this week, but in the weeks to come. I do promise I'll show y'all how to use a wet palette and what it brings to the table. Brother Brett said, "Hey, if you use a wet palette, it'll change your life. It'll make things so much easier." And I believe him. I 100% believe him. He's an amazing artist. The miniatures that he's painted look fantastic. So I'm going to take his word on it. And I'm going to try out the wet palette, not today on the stream, but in future streams. I promise I'll be using the wet palette, and I'll give a little demo and review of this particular Army Painter wet palette. So it's really nice. I pulled it out and it's got a bunch of stuff on the inside. But Brother Brett says that he will hound me until I actually do. So moving forward for today's stream, I'm very thankful for everybody to show up, take a look at what I'm doing. For the past few weeks, basically since the end of December, I've been painting up Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see all the different pictures that I've been posting. I've been doing at least one model a week. I paint right here on the stream. So I'm very happy with what I've done. I've almost completed my Spider Foes group. I'm going to go ahead and show that real quick on the stream. Let's switch over to our double cam view. So I've painted Venom, Carnage, Blizzard, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus. I just painted Rhino. Rhino was the last miniature that I painted on stream. And then in between the Rhino and Mysterio, who I'll be painting today, I painted the Kingpin because they're all spider foes, but they're interchangeable in the game with another faction called the Criminal Syndicate, and the Kingpin is the leader of that group. So I wanted something that was a little bit different, but I didn't have to get a whole bunch of models for. And I really enjoy that about Marvel Crisis Protocol. They do a good job of, if you want to play different factions or get a different feel for different leaders, you can buy an affiliation kit or a bunch of models that you really like, and they'll probably work with several other models so that you can fill up a 10-man team, right? When you go to a tournament or a special event, you need to have a 10-man team, and then from there you can build what kind of roster you want depending on the point value of each character or the point value of what you'll be playing with for the event. Raven. The only one I haven't painted, and I probably won't paint, is Taskmaster, because I've decided to change out Taskmaster or Taskmaster or Taskmaster. Getting tongue tied just thinking about it. I'm going to switch him out for Black Cat. I've had a chance to play against Web Warriors recently, and my opponent that's been using Web Warriors has used Black Cat once against me, and then after looking at her card and her abilities, she's very, very good for objective-based games, and that's what I want her with the Criminal Syndicate. She works with the Criminal Syndicate, so I'll be picking her up and then painting her on stream as well eventually. So Taskmaster, sorry bud, I'm just not in the cards for you. Although I'll probably end up painting him and keeping him to the side anyway. Today we will be painting Mysterio. He is a beautiful model. Very dynamic. He's got this smoke cloud that starts at the bottom of the base, works his way up around his legs. Works his way up around his legs, around his cape, and then all the way up to his hand. And so after looking at Mysterio, I did a little research on his different suits that he's had. That's our water. Different suits that he's had. I just want to go with the original base generic green suit that he has. I like it. It's going to be very simple for me to paint. I like to keep my paint scheme simple. I'm going to be trying out the metallic medium from Monument Hobbies. I really like Monument Hobbies Pro Acro line. They're phenomenal. The best bang for your buck as far as quantity of paint for price. They come in the dropper bottles, which I prefer over the paint pots. Right, these little paint pots with a lid. Pop the lid, and you take your paint out of there. These tend to dry out a little bit faster. If they fall over, the paint goes everywhere. I'm very clumsy, so I need something that's a little bit better suited for my big meaty hands. So we are going to start by taking a look at him. I know that I want his cape to be purple. The majority of his body is going to be green. His helmet, I'm going to try something a little bit different. When I bought my Pro Acro paints, one of the lines that I bought was the metallics, right? So I got like a generic silver, bright gold, white gold, bronze, dark silver, and then it came with this metallic medium. So the metallic medium is meant for you to mix with other colors. I'm going to mix a little bit of this metallic medium with a very light blue. And then I'm going to use this white gold to sort of give it like his helmet a nice swirly blue fog, bluish fog effect. I've never done it before. I'm going to try it on the stream. it does not come out the way I like, then I'll just repaint it. It's no big deal. It's one of the best parts about painting is if you don't like the way it comes out, you can very easily remove the paint or just prime right over it, try again. Right. So, real quick, I'm going to go rescue my daughter. I can hear her crying. I want to go. One of the parts of being the big bad nerd dad, I gotta go sit on baby duty. So I will be right back. Don't worry, it won't take long at all. And take a look at all of my sponsors on my sponsor banner. Right, and we're back. Just another part of being the big bad nerd dad. Sometimes you got to do a late night potty run. Potty training a 2-year-old can get a little rough. That's all right. We're in the thick of it. So, starting with Mysterio, right? We're going to be doing green for the body, purple for the cape. If there's anything else too hard about that, I'm going to do a dark green for his smoke to start it off, like his body. And then I'm going to work up from the dark camo green to a lighter green. But I'm basically going to just start off by painting everything this nice regular green. Again, I really enjoy this Pro Acryl line from Monument Hobbies. The paint is very fluid. It flows very well. They come in a dropper form, so you don't have to throw a bunch. Just do a little bit at a time. If I need more, go back for more. We're basically just going to base coat this model with this green. We're not going to be too worried about everything going on. We did a zenthal highlight prior to. Bring out some of the shadows. And all the little bits. We will go back over later with a gold dry brush on all of his little metal bits that he has, like on his boots, his knees. But again, I say painting is easy. It just takes time and practice. You have to want to do it. For years, I struggled with painting because I just didn't think I could do it. I didn't want to try and learn new techniques. I actually have pictures on my Facebook page, on the Big Bad Nerd Dad Facebook page, of where I started painting miniatures to where I am today. And of course, there's a drastic change. I've been painting miniatures for over 10 years now, almost 15. I enjoy it. This is my therapy. This is how I get things done. This is what makes me feel good. And again, I'd like to thank everybody right now for watching, liking, subscribing to whatever you're watching me on, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, Twitch. It really means a lot. I know you could be doing anything this time, but you're here with me tonight. That means a lot. I've painting minis. Oh yeah, brother Brett says that he's been painting minis since 1978. But said it was very different back then. So this past Saturday, I got a chance to play the Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught. Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught is a miniature war game that takes place in the Forgotten Realms, the main setting for Dungeons and Dragons, and it is fantastic. It is like a Frostgrave Light, very simple to play. It's a board game. It's a war game described as a war game disguised as a board game, and it's very neat, very simple. It's got a decent price point at $140. For the core box comes with 2 factions. Those 2 factions have 7 models each, and they're beautiful, detailed models. They're not like grubby, little random. They have multiple colors per model. They're shaded, they're highlighted on some. I thought they were fantastic. I had no idea that the minis would look that good, or could look that good out of a board game. I'm so used to painting my own miniatures that I was like, man, that's very cool. It's very neat of them to put in these highly detailed painted miniatures in the board game. I got him based. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch greens from my generic green to my camo green. It's a darker green. And I'm going to start painting that smoke. Again, these Pro Acryl paints come with like a little glass bead on the inside, so that when you're mixing your paint, right, you're shaking it up, because the pigmentation, if it sits for too long, will start to settle. Comes with a little glass bead to help you mix it up, get that pigmentation stirred up real good, instead of there being like a watery mess. And you try and spurt it out. Give it a little shake, shake, shake. So now I'm going to put just a drop. That's simple. I'm going to paint the base. This is a much darker green. Because I want to start dark with a dark green and then work my way up to that yellow, right? So that the dark green helps with the shadows of this yellow smoke that I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm going to be very sloppy. This is just a regular base coat, right? I can get it all over the base. I can get it all over the bottom of the model. Nobody's really going to be looking there. My wife is doing some hobby work as well. Hmm. So now we're going to be a little bit more careful because we're working our way up to the mini itself that I've already painted. And again, this is a very nice, very dynamic miniature. He's actually coming out of the smoke cloud. Mysterio is the master of illusion. I will definitely be coming back, cleaning up the smoke on his cape. This is just a nice, dry base coat. For this dark green. I'll have to be more careful with the purple that I'm going to be painting across the back of it. A few more. Work that smoke all the way up. Come back later. The purple to do the cape. Clean up the smoke after I finish the cape. Hold on 1 second. This is another part of being the big bad nerd dad. I will be right back. Please bear with me. Alright, we're back. We are back. Again, sorry. Another part of being the big bad nerd dad. Sometimes I gotta take care of big bad nerd problems. But I'm a problem solver. Alright, so take this dark green all the way up through the tendrils. Get a little tufts of smoke come out. And I'm not going to do anything fancy, really fancy with the cape. I'm going to paint it a nice deep purple, then highlight it with like a magenta. Contrary. Make the ridges of the cape pop. We're doing the same thing with the smoke. Lighter green. Gotcha. Right. See within that cape, deep dark cape. Again, very easy, very simple. Nothing fancy going on here just yet. Just giving it a base coat of the colors I want to work up from. Working that color all in there. Color all in there. And then I always do I always save the base the base itself for last. It's gonna get paint all over it while I'm trying to get into the nooks and crannies of the model. Alright. He's got a darker green on his base. He's got a green on himself. Next, I'm going to work up that coat. His cloak is going to be just a normal purple. I'm going to do it right here. But it's going to thick brush. Oh. Actually, I think I'm I don't know much about color theory. I'm going to add a little bit of this blue. Here. Purple, blue. Yeah. I made a little bit of a deeper purple with that blue. It has a slight hint of green to it. From the purple into the blue. Crazy. The painting is. So it's not as purpley as the purple that we started out with, right? So that when we add the details, I can go back with the actual purple. It'll work up a little bit more, and then we'll use magenta to highlight that even more. Worried about every single edge, every single piece, because we're gonna work this model over quite a bit. So a question that I get asked a lot is, what kind of brushes do I use? And I use just generic 10 for 5, 10 brushes for $5 from Walmart. You can get them in the arts and crafts section. There's nothing fancy about them. They work. And really and truly, if you need fancier brushes, you can get them from your local hobby stores. You can order them online, whatever you have to do to get them. But these brushes that I've been using from Walmart for years, bless you, and years and years and years, work just fine. You don't need fancy brushes. I do recommend that you get nice paints if you're going to be painting miniatures. Like you don't want to just use the acrylics that Walmart has on their hobby section. You want miniature acrylics from Monument Hobbies. These Pro Acryl are fantastic. Army Painter is another favorite of mine. They come in droppers. I've been using Army Painter for years and years and years and years until these Pro Acryl came out. And one of the guys at my friendly local game stores was like, Mike, you got to try these out. They're amazing. They'll change your life, and they really have. They flow really well. They they don't need a lot of coaxing to paint. Like I'm hitting all these little nice little edges and corners without too much trouble. I'm legitimately just using a base coating brush to get into the nooks and crannies without much trouble. You watch. Sabrina, thank you so much for sharing my stream. That really helps, whether you share it on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. That really helps. That gets the Facebook and Twitch and YouTube algorithms cranking, and they're like, oh, somebody's actually watching this guy. He's got audience participation. Go ahead and show his stream to a couple of other people that like miniature painting and other stuff. As you can see, I'm almost done with the outside of the cape. Somebody had recommended that I start doing Gundams. I feel like that would be very dangerous because number one, I love Gundams. Yeah, we don't have a lot of shelf space, as my wife just said. We don't have a lot of shelf space. Number two, and number three, those things can get expensive. But if somebody wanted to donate one to the stream, I would gladly assemble it and paint it on stream. And if you couldn't hear that, you couldn't hear that. Oh well. So the outside of his cape is done. The inside of the cape is going to be just a little bit more easy because I don't care what the inside of the cape looks like. I paint these edges. Oh, so before I had to take care of that big bad nerd dad biz, Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught is a fantastic beginner's game. Who is that? Somebody's liking my stream. I believe that's going to be Miss Tree, my good friend Alley-Oop. Thank you, Miss Alley-Oop, for liking my stream so many times. Bust up that Facebook algorithm. But the Dungeons and Dragons, what's up, Big Bad Nerd Dad? Miss Alley-Oop from Facebook. Sending a big hello, Miss Alex. Miss Alex has been a part of the Big Bad Nerd fam since our inception. Very glad to have her back here on the stream, watching, sharing, liking, loving, it looks like. Thank you, Miss Alex. Oh, we are painting a Mysterio miniature from Marvel Crisis Protocol. I want to say we're about 40% done. I'm trying to paint his cape. Again, thank you very much for liking, sharing, doing anything for my stream. I know it's hard to see on the stream with me painting the inside of the interior of this, but all I'm doing is base coating the inside. I'll hit it with a dark wash later to bring out those inside ridges. Not very careful because again I'm just going to go back and hit it with more paint in a little bit. Space Cadets Gaming held that Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught event this past Saturday, and it was so much fun. I did a little write-up over the weekend on it on my Facebook page. So if you're interested in looking up that Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught, check out my Facebook page. I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. Me and the guys just went out there, had a blast. That is purple cake. There we go. Oh yeah, Miss Alex, Alley Oop was actually at Space Cadets and passed by. I got to say hi. I'm real. I'm out there in the thick of it playing games. Very excited for June 17th. June 17th is Free RPG Day. I will be working with Space Cadets Gaming to help them promote whatever tabletop role-playing games they would like. Excited to see where the future leads for that. One of my favorite stores. I was actually out yesterday at the Adventure Begins in Conroe. That was a lot of fun. Played some Dungeons and Dragons for the first time in a few months. Next, what I'd like to do is I'm going to use some of this yellow. We paint his metal pieces. And after I'm done with those metal pieces, I'm going to go back over with this white gold. I'm going to hit it with this white gold to give it a nice gold effect. Miss Alex says that she is a huge fan of Space Cadets and The Adventure Begins. Alex is over on Facebook, so if you're on Facebook, feel free to join the conversation. Same thing with Twitch and YouTube. I can see every single one of the chats now. So chat it up and I'll respond to each of you accordingly. And if you're there together, Jay, I see our good friend Jay Alamo is hiding there in the comments. Jay, thank you very much for watching. Every view helps. I just want people to see that playing miniature games is for everybody. I'm gonna paint his bracers and metal bits yellow. Or I dry brush over them with a white gold. Make that pop. Right. Alright. One bracer done. I think I'm actually going to switch up to a finer detail brush. I'm just using, again, one of those generic Walmart #1 rounds. I do have it from the exact same bag. It's just a liner, so a thinner tip. So I can hit details better. So, gotta be a little careful because I do have that smoke all over right there. This is exactly, you want to get one of these packs of brushes from Walmart with the different sizes and not just one or two brushes, because you will need different size brushes for different size objectives. Okay. I'm just going back over the cape to the part of the smoke that I sort of went a little overboard with the purple, cleaning that up. Another great thing about these paints from these Pro Acryl paints from Monument Hobbies is that they are so full of pigmentation. They have great coverage. So if you mess up and you need to go back, you can just go right back to it. That looks good to me. I got a few more spots that I'm going to hit with this yellow. Got a belt. I hit this belt with that yellow. Ooh. If you notice, I have kind of shaky hands. That's okay. Really like that. I had seen somewhere that it looked like they were going to come out with the Shocker and Electro. Not Electro. The Shocker and the Vulture Electro. Getting my Spidey villains all mixed up. I would like that very much. Sort of like kinda complete my Sinister Six. I kind of finish off my Sinister Six. Because I'm a huge, I say huge, I'm a Venom fan. Venom's my favorite comic book character. And so when I was starting out with Marvel Crisis Protocol, I was like, oh, there's nobody in the core box that I really like. I mean, Spider-Man's there. Spider-Man's kind of cool. But Venom's my favorite character. So when I picked up Venom, he was an individual character. And from there, it was just either I did Web Warriors and played with Spider-Man and all the Spider Friends, or I did uh, Spider Foes. Started picking up. I had Doc Ock. I needed the Green Goblin and Carnage, all these other baddies, and I was like, you know what? Spider-Man is very hip right now. Everybody likes him. Why don't you just go ahead and go Spider Foes? You can still use Venom. You don't have to worry about playing everybody else as Spider-Man. Mirror matches. Which is good because my buddy Joe, uh, Joe wanted to play Defenders and Midnight Suns. And my other buddy James, he was like, "Oh, I love Spider-Man. I want to play Spider-Man. Can I play Spider-Man?" I was like, "Yes, please play Spider-Man, so my Spider foes can tear you to pieces." We haven't played yet. I haven't played against James 1v1 yet. We played last Thursday a free-for-all game. Me versus Joe versus James. And James ended up winning that free-for-all. So I'm not salty, but definitely want to get my win against James and his Spider foes. It was a little tougher than I anticipated, but it looks good. Now I'm going to take my dry brush. This is a special. This is one of those brushes that is special, but I do have a dry brush that is not. I don't have it out. It is not as good. There are some brushes that you want for specific reasons. Brush. Oh, right. Like I said before, I'm going to work it up from a dark green to a yellow. I gotta get the green on there. And after I'm done dry brushing the green on green, I'm going to use a green wash that I have to give it, put darkness in those recesses, give it a further tint. And then I'll go back and dry brush the yellow after I feel like it's done its job. I have a green tone with the green wash from Army Painter. It's been a while since I've used it, so I gotta make sure that all the pigmentation flows real good through it. Big drop of green. You can be sloppy with this. Hey, Jimmy Garrett. Jimmy, thank you so much for watching. Jimmy I've known for a few years from Jimmy's Game Garage and Board and Brew games. Me and my buddies play Call of Cthulhu and Marvel Crisis Protocol up at Board and Brew. I'm trying to get out a lot more. Some of my favorite game stores. Trying to get sponsored by some of my favorite game stores. Board and Brew is actually where I picked up these paints, my Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl. Like I said before, just getting real loose with this wash. Really, I just wanted to hit all the recesses. Give it some dimension. So the next thing I'm going to do is dry brush the yellow onto this green smoke. Make it a yellowish green smoke. Alright. Alright. Who's that showing me love? Somebody's showing me love big time on Facebook. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. I think that's Miss Alex again. I might even be Jimmy Garrett. Whoever it is, let me see who it is. I think it's Miss Alex. Thank you very much. Get in there nice and deep, like with that wash. Go. Alright, so we're gonna let that wash dry up. I'm gonna start working on his dome. Like I said before, this is the first time I'm using the Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl Metallic Medium. And what I want to do is shake it up real good. You know, I'm gonna drop a few drops of this metallic medium and mix it with a very light blue. Hopefully give me like an almost iridescent, yeah, exactly what that does. It gives it an iridescent color, an iridescentness to the color you mix it with. Bless you, ma'am. Take this very light blue, this faded ultramarine, give it a few shakes. 1 part faded ultramarine, 1 part bright ivory. That up even more. There we go. And 1 part the metallic medium. Actually, two parts. Oh, there we go. There we go. So this will give me a nice, shiny, very light blue. Or it should. That's what I wanted. I got this nice, shiny, iridescent blue. I'll put a drop regular blue up here. I'll use that in a second. That dome. Made it light blue. This iridescent light blue. Being a little careful. I'm going to try and give it like a fishbowl effect. So we are going to paint this very light blue, and then I'm going to go back over, hit the bottom edges of the dome with that lighter blue, or the darker of the light blue, and start working my way up again with the iridescence. Brett, thank you for watching on Facebook, brother. Every little bit helps. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted. Love it, love it, love it. We're gonna let that go. Should have a white gold. Before I hit that white gold, take this strong tone. His metal armbands have these really cool little designs recessed in there. A little too much. So I'm just going to take this strong tone, lightly drop that into those recessed bits. Pull out. See how you can barely see. Look a bit closer. I think it's as good as it's going to get, right? I want to get that in there. Bring out those. Gotta double check on my wife. It sounds like she's crying, but really she's just she has allergies. So that brings that out. He's got some of that stuff around his belt. We paint that stuff around his belt. Bring it out. His boots. Bring it out. Cool. Paint. Essence. Okay, done with the green tone, done with the strong tone. I'm gonna let that dry up a little bit. What I need to do is take that purple and go back over his cloak. We haven't used this one. Actually, that purple over here. I don't want to. Taking my dry brush, making sure it's dry. Take a little bit of that purple. And hit. Because remember that I mixed the purple and the magenta together. Okay, that's looking good. Now I feel like that's done. I need to get the white gold. Is that white gold? Here we go. Just, and I'm going to dry brush the white gold on, so I don't need a lot. Wait, I don't think I've used white gold before. I like this use of colors I've never used before. But I'm gonna shake up this white gold real good. So then they don't tell you in painting school is that the metallics, the pigmentation is very thick. You want to make sure you get that real good shake. Normally I roll it in my hands. Put a couple drops. Oh, boop, one, that's enough. Don't need a lot. Again, this is just for a nice dry brush on the metallic bits. Bits. Just a little bit. Right. Right. Almost done. Just gotta work on that. Halo smoke with my dry brush. We'll paint up the base and we'll be finished. There we go. There we go. Alright, so now we're gonna finish off this Mysterio. A little yellow dry brush. Oh, this is exactly the effect that I wanted to get, kind of like a sickly green yellow vibe. Careful, I'm hitting points on the cape. I don't want to get the cape. I need to get as much yellow smoke as possible. So one of the techniques that I've learned to love is dry brushing. It really gives things a completely different look and feel. It adds depth and character to the model. There we go. I'm going to take small line blue. I have a gloss finish that I'll put onto here later. Now I need. Oh, I didn't take it out. Oh, whoops. Full black. I'm going to paint the bottom edge of his base black. Paint the bottom edge of his base black. Oof. All right, so Alex just asked me what my favorite miniature to paint was. For Marvel Crisis Protocol, that's going to have to be Venom because he's my favorite character and he had a lot of detail in his bulk. Like he's got a lot of muscles. He's not friendly looking. There was just a lot to do with him that I liked. And really, all the models from Marvel Crisis Protocol have been phenomenal. They're beautiful models. They've got a lot of detail. They're very dynamic. They just look good. Like Great models to paint. Great models to paint. And I'm very happy with how they've all sort of come out together. Other places like Washington, good. They hit it in different areas helps. Again, I'm very happy with where we are. So, that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching and hanging out with me for the past few hours. Uh, as I painted Mysterio for Marvel Crisis Protocol, I look forward to doing more miniatures, specifically for Silver Bayonet, a war game of Napoleonic Gothic horror. Stay tuned because we will be working with Space Cadets Gaming for their free RPG day. They're trying to get me out there once a week to do skirmish Sundays. I want to set up a skirmish Sundays so that we can do all kinds of skirmish games at Space Cadets. As far as playing the games on stream, yes, that is the plan. Is for Joe and I to do Joe versus Schmo and do some war games, some all different types of 1v1 games. And if you want to see me in action, I do plan on actually going to a few events. I'll be posting about those on my Facebook page. So if you're watching me on Twitch or YouTube, head on over to Big Bad Nerd Dad on Facebook so that you can check out all of the really cool stuff that I do, all the games that I have lined up for this year, and the special events that I go to. I'll be posting a lot more on my Facebook page about all the different events that I'll be going to throughout the year and all the specialty streams that I'll be hosting for Labor Day, Memorial Day, Black Friday, and potentially the 4th of July weekend. I have that entire weekend off, plus the 3rd and the 4th off. So we're probably going to do something patriotic for the 4th of July, get some patriotic gaming in there, and raise some money for great causes like the Wounded Warrior Project, the Houston Suicide Prevention, the Houston Food Bank, just whatever we can locally. Right? If you have a will, there's a way for us to help out our community, and I know that there are thousands upon thousands of people in the Houston area that want to play games to raise money for specific causes, and we can do that. We've done it before for the Houston Food Bank. We've done it before for Texas Children's Hospital. Hospital. So I'll invite a lot of people out to these different events because they won't just be on the stream in my little house. They'll be out and about. Space Cadets Gaming, Etten Games. I want to get out to Golem's Gate. I want to get out to the Aegis Creative Company. Maybe if we can get this big enough and get the Full Hill Foundation rolling this year, rent out a civic center and just do 24 hours of tabletop gaming for charity with hundreds of people. We did it back in 2015 with the U of H, and we had hundreds of people there. And I want to try and do it again so that we can raise money for all of the great causes spread throughout Houston, right? Because we are local and we want to do things for our community. But with that being said, I'm very thankful for everybody that's watched, that's liked the stream, that's shared the stream, that's commented. All of that helps my algorithm. All of that helps Facebook and Twitch and YouTube be like, hey, you know what? This guy's trying. This guy's out there doing his thing. Let's go ahead and give him a few bumps. Let's get some people noticing him so that we can get more people into the tabletop hobby and use this for fellowship just like it should be. So I want to say thank you. I love you very much. And walls ahead, rubble